welcome.
Whoa.
Yeah, keep singing the song. I
want you to keep. It's win big. And you can win big.
You have a great voice. Is this your new,
It's a cross between Fergie and Jesus, I know.
Yeah, I know. Karaoke just to the extreme.
Touch my drum set?
I'm going to put my nutsack all over your drum set.
We cannot start a show.
Why can't we?
We can, and we have.
This shit's live.
Can't take it back. Are you going to put a mask on? Do it. Just put it on for a couple minutes. Put a mask.
No.
COVID is still happening, folks. Put your masks on, damn it.
God damn it. When will it stop? Make it stop.
I think by the summer. I feel good about late summer.
It's going to stop tomorrow. I think it stops tomorrow.
Well, welcome to the Candid Athletic Training Podcast. My name is Chad.
Oh, I'm Kevin.
We are here. I don't even know this is 118. Had to write it down.
Had to.
And this is, what is today? April 5th? April 5th.
April 5th. Nate, I'm currently drinking a Shock Top because that's what I had available to me. But, Chad, can you hand me that one over there?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Reload.
Now I'm switching to Wisconsin's favorite, Spotted Cow.
Do you think it is?
Absolutely. Right now, it's Wisconsin's favorite.
All right. I don't disagree.
I bet there's more Spotted Cow sold in this state than all Budweiser. Any Budweiser.
For sure.
I hope so, at least.
For sure. So welcome to everybody on the live stream. We appreciate you showing up.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
It's like a private showing tonight.
Eddie,
we're not open to the masses.
Ed just made it in. He's right in the middle of practice, he said.
What up, homie?
So what's going on? I just see you're typing things. Nebula, Marvel. Are we trying to figure out who's who?
I don't know what happened. Nate said first show post March, going to feel like the blip just happened. Going back to the original crew.
Good call.
With only a few new faces. Who's Rocket, War Machine, Ant-Man, and Nebula? And I was trying to go through everybody. Rick Cox is definitely War Machine. I mean, I think he's brains and brawn, right? He's got it all, right?
Is that how you feel about War Machine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you not? I mean, the guy's a leader, but then he's got the suit, and he has a massive gun over the top, you know? He's the big gun.
He is the big gun.
And not only that, I mean, he's just very patriotic. I don't know if Rick Cox is very patriotic, but I feel like he's patriotic.
I feel like he is a patriotic person.
I know, but he's always reading books. It's always about leadership.
Yes.
He probably knows more about like the SEALs than the SEALs do.
Yeah.
Seriously. I think he's War Machine. He might be he might actually be War Machine.
Oh, Ed's practice got out early. That is a good feeling. Friend or foe, practice get down early.
And then I put Nate as Ant-Man.
Why?
Because he tends to have the jokes. He's kind of got that little like.
He's Paul Rudd.
He's very Paul Rudd like. He's a ginger Paul Rudd maybe.
Is that a compliment?
Tall. He's a little tall to be Ant-Man, but that's what the button's for. You know.
He's giant man. Giant man. Just make sure you carry some orange slices with you, Nate.
And then what else? Who else? Oh, I said Hannah is Rocket. Because she's Rocket clearly
filthy mouth.
Yes, absolutely. Rocket is absolutely the one that's going to say that's what she said.
Yeah,
in the most inappropriate time ever. Somebody just died, and then Rocket says that's what she said.
Yep.
And I totally Hannah.
All right.
I know you're a nice person, but you got a dirty mind.
All right.
But I don't know who Nebula is.
So it's
you think robotic?
Dylan or Ed?
Dylan or Ed?
Well, that's who left here.
Dylan's way too nice to be Nebula. And Ed's like dad.
Scott's here.
Ed's probably dad of the year. Maybe, you know what it is? We need to get to know some more people.
Yeah.
We need to get to know Scott more. Scott, actually, I have a question for you. On your membership, it says Jonathan. But I thought your name was Scott. And I'm very confused. You got to let me know what's going on.
Yeah.
Are you Jonathan Scott?
So let's get into that a little bit.
What?
Memberships? March is over, and it's April. We just celebrated Easter, but we're still giving away stuff. So we had a member.
Very giving people.
We had a member who wanted to pay it forward.
Yep.
And this member, I'm not giving out a name because the person did not want me to give out a name, said, I want to give you guys, I want to pay for 3 memberships and I want you to give them out.
Okay.
And this person specifically said Scott was going to get one.
Yep.
From the first episode of March.
Yep.
So Scott got a membership.
He's a
courtesy
recipient.
of another member.
Yeah.
We have 2 more memberships we'd like to give away.
Correct.
Courtesy of one of our friends. So, if you're on the live stream, you don't need a membership because you already have one.
Correct.
If you're listening to this audio version 1 week later, if you're listening to this, here's what we're going to do. You're going to finish this week's episode. At the end of this episode, Kevin is going to give you a buzzword, a keyword.
I already know what it is. I just thought of it.
Okay, good. So Kevin's going to give you a buzzword. And then on Monday, April the 12th.
Yeah.
All right. You need to direct message us on social media or email us if you don't have social media. So everybody
Correct.
has an opportunity. If you are listening to this, if you are listening to episode 118 and you want a free membership, you're going to listen to this entire episode, listen to the end. Kevin's going to give you a buzzword. You need to email us or direct message us on social media, Kevin's key buzzword, and you will be entered into a drawing. We're going to give away 2. We're going to give away 2 more memberships a week from today. Or tonight, if you're just listening to this. So if you're listening to this on Monday the 12th, you're going to want to listen to this, put it on 1.5 speed.
Yeah, listen to the end.
Or just fast forward to the end, slider bar, spoiler.
You can do that?
I think so.
One podcast I listen to pretty regularly, you can't do that.
Oh, I didn't know.
It will stop you once the ad hits.
Oh, cool. Forces you to listen to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've heard an ad for a Ford F-150. I don't think America needs to know that Ford F-150s are available. Number one selling car in the world.
You're right.
Although, Ford, if you want to sponsor this lovely Candid Athletic Training podcast.
Yeah, let's get Ford on here. Maybe you can
I'll
give us.
also take a Ford F-150.
Yeah, no, we'll play around. We'll
make it the Raptor, and who knows what I'll do for you.
Whoa. What's a ZJ?
What?
Never mind. Okay, so we're giving away 2 memberships. You're going to want to email us, get in that lottery, that contest, that giveaway.
You know what? So Nate just,
I know.
He just put up the buzzword, right? The only thing I could think of was the password is...
Password.
Penis.
Oh. So
Carrie at his finest.
How was your Easter? We just past Easter. You didn't do anything. You're house sitting.
Yeah, house sitting. Immediate family's out of town. Me and the future missus hung out with her family for like dinner. And that's about it. Otherwise, we had a nice little Sunday. Didn't do anything. We didn't even go to Home Depot.
Nope, Saturday.
Yeah, that was
Saturday's
Saturday.
Home Depot. We're going streaking in the quad.
Yeah. Little known fact. Well, not little known. I mean,
you've been streaking before?
11 other people know this. Some people that are listening to the podcast right now, if it's next Monday, that's one of my fantasy football team names. We're going streaking.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. You know what? Before we get in, we're here at Brew Fitness Studio.
Wow. Really?
In Milwaukee.
First time.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So if you ever visit, come on, check out the
in.
gym. You can get a free 10-day membership and hang out with Ryan and Savannah and Alex and Kevin.
Yeah.
Because he'll be here.
Because Chad doesn't work out anymore.
I'll be back. Like the Terminator. I'll be back.
You will. When your kid's like 8.
No. As soon as this baseball season's over, I'm getting my ass back into shape.
Who else can we thank?
Right here. Our friends at www.healthyroster.com, the official sponsor of the Candid Athletic Training podcast.
God, those guys are great.
They are great. If you are starting to look towards next year, if you're looking for
it's a good point.
Medical records database, you should check them out. If you're looking for some sort of survey screening tool,
Yeah.
If you need a screening system, Healthy Roster is your place.
If you want a company to work with that listens to what you need and will adapt to your needs, you need healthyroster.com.
Yeah. We should save this for a future topic because it just came to my head now. When did you start planning for next year? When you were like, that's a feature topic for it. Like,
Planning
should you start
for
planning?
next
So,
year.
like, right now, would you start? Is this too soon to start budgeting and thinking about what you want to get for next year and purchasing? That's a feature topic.
I mean, in my former career,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Although, I think you always have this like 5-year plan in the back of your head, right?
Yeah.
Like these, this year I'm going to learn these CEUs, and then next year I want to learn that. Like, I mean, there's always that, but really thinking about next year in my former career, yeah, it wasn't right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're just trying to get through.
Well, it was opening day like 3 days ago. So.
Yeah. I suppose I'm thinking in the college world.
In the college world, the high school world, I would
when
think,
your season is, yeah.
I would think a lot of budgets are going on right now,
Yeah.
right? You're applying, you're applying for that, bigger capital budget thing. That you want the hot tub in your
hot tub.
the hot tub.
Barbara Hernandez. That's a Saturday Night Live skit.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Will Ferrell
Interesting.
in a hot tub.
All right.
Barbara
The only one I remember
Hernandez.
is that with Jim Carrey being the
no, it's Will Ferrell and Drew Barrymore.
I was thinking of when Will Ferrell and, forgive me, I can't remember the female comic on SNL, but they're very awkwardly like sexually active in the hot tub with everybody, and they make everybody uncomfortable around them. Do you remember that? No. And then
No.
and then honestly, Jim Carrey hosting, I think, SNL, and he was the lifeguard at a hot tub.
Oh no, I don't know that.
That one was awesome.
I'll have to check that
Anything
one out.
Jim Carrey, awesome.
Is he on your Mount Rushmore comedians?
Ooh, comedians? It's tough because to me, you
or
have
funny actors.
Funny actors. To me, yes.
He's in your Mount Rushmore
Yes,
funny actors.
Absolutely. Comedians, I think stand-up comedy though, and that's different. He's not a stand-up comic.
That's true. That's true.
That's like Will Ferrell's not a stand-up.
Man,
comic.
I might have to give that one some thought.
That's a big loaded question.
Yeah.
I can't believe you would spring that on me last second.
It just I didn't know where this conversation was going.
You're such a jerk.
I know.
So I think the only other thing that we need to address, right? You got anything else?
No, we're good. Why don't you? And this is gonna kind of get into our feature topic a little bit tonight.
This leads to our feature topic. I think a huge thank you to everybody that reached out to us, because you know that a really good friend of the show had a little bit of a scary moment for him.
Work.
Yeah, at work as an athletic trainer. And a lot of you reached out to make sure that he was okay. You kind of reached out to us to maybe even say he was in your prayers, your thoughts, and everything, that you were hoping that he would be okay. I'm going to let everybody know right now, he's okay. He's out of the hospital. He's doing just fine. Just talked to him. He's doing exactly what he normally does, and
he's writing a paper.
He's writing a paper and trying to be smarter than everybody else.
Yeah, he is smarter than everybody else.
Because he is smarter than everybody else. Because how many of you are writing a paper right now?
I am.
Not many. That being said, we really appreciate you reaching out, because he's a near, dear, good friend of ours, and we love him to death. And I hope everybody gets a chance to meet somebody like Mr. Dave Yeager. And he's okay. So that will lead to a nice topic that we have later in the show. Dave, if you're listening, I promise we're not just going to go into all your personal details of your life. We love you. We wouldn't do that to you.
Bullshit.
Anything else?
No. No. Let's do it.
All right.
And we're back.
Oh, we're back.
We've never said that before.
Back to the studio.
Where are we going?
Back to the
hotel.
Subject at hand. Okay, yeah, back to the hotel. That's another one. Yeah, there's a lot of songs that have back to, Back to the Future. A lot of stuff. Hey, where do you want to go? I don't care. What's your least favorite thing of this show? And we'll start there.
My least favorite thing?
Yeah.
I don't have one.
Which one are you like, let's just get this freaking over with? I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Honestly, each week is it's like a choose your own adventure. I don't know. I
That's
love
what I'm trying to choose. I'm trying
okay,
to choose your adventure.
This week, let's start with the low one.
The little one.
That's what. Yeah. All right. Here we go. I'm just gonna hit a button.
Yeah. Okay. You knew which one you were gonna.
No,
hit.
I didn't. Friend or foe?
This is a surprise to me.
Friend or foe, Kevin?
Yep. Bring it.
When an athlete calls you at home.
Ooh.
Athlete calling you at home. Friend or foe?
Is it a social call?
Athlete calling you at home.
Never a social call. That's a foe. It's got to be a foe, because no matter what, that just means something's wrong. Like like they either they don't know the schedule for tomorrow, so they call the only person that they knew would absolutely know the schedule for tomorrow.
That's bullshit, because
we also don't
we're the last person to know the schedule.
Exactly, but we're the only ones they trust.
Now that's definitely
or something happened, right?
Yeah.
Something bad happened. They need to know if they should go to the emergency room or not. The other, I can't think of any. I can't think of like a good reason your athlete is calling you, unless it's totally social, or it's like, hey, what was that movie we were watching in the athletic training room earlier today? But that they could wait for tomorrow. So foe. It's got to be a foe. It's got to be a foe.
I agree.
I don't know how that can be.
And as well, here's the only way it can be a friend. Is you're young, you're new in the profession, and you're overzealous. You just want to help everyone.
Yeah.
And you want to give them a little bit of or you're trying to give them some things to do at home before you see them tomorrow, to try and improve the situation between now and then, so that you have less work to do tomorrow. Does that make sense? Like, if you can give them a little bit of advice now, tomorrow when you see them in person, it might be a little bit better. It might be a little bit easier. That's the only situation where I can say maybe it's a little bit of a friend. You're getting something in.
They're doing their due diligence of not waiting to the last minute to tell you.
Correct.
Especially in your world, because sometimes they don't have a choice but the 15 minutes before practice because they've been in class all day.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know, is UWM in class? Are they like in classes, or is it like optional?
Certain
or is it like,
certain labs are. Most everything is virtual right now, but there are a few things that are in person.
You're right. That's the only way that could be a friend.
So we're gonna.
I will say
we put it up on social media today. I'm just gonna.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I don't know how that happened.
Hey.
So we got 83% said foe, 17% of you said friend. I just put this up like 2 hours ago.
Not even close. I mean, that's a pretty. I honestly think there needs to be the separation, right?
How about a Ferris Bueller from Nate?
I love it. Oof.
Cameron was in Egypt land. Let my people go.
My people go. Man, some of our listeners right now are like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, that's all right. That's why you get a membership or sign up for a free one, so you can see the visuals that we put up on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Or just go check us out on YouTube.
You can just go check us out on YouTube.
You're gonna want to get a membership, as we talked about last week.
Wouldn't you feel like you're late to the game? If you're listening to this next week, and we're talking about Ferris Bueller and this poll that's on Twitter, you're late to the game. Talking about practice. God.
Talking about not the game.
God, that guy was good at basketball.
We were arguing on the bus this week about top 5 point guards of all time.
Top 5 point guards.
You
can't do 5. You got to do 4. Mount Rushmore.
Okay, well, yeah. All right, fine. Go.
Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
Real quick, Steve Nash. Oh, John Stockton. Point guard, is Steph Curry a point guard?
No, not a true point guard.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem, is that in the last,
everyone's a tweener now.
In the last 8 years, there are no true positions anymore. So like everybody right now, like you could say LeBron James would be the best point guard.
LeBron, point forward James.
I'm gonna go Gary the Glove Payton as my last.
He was my second favorite player of all time.
Absolutely, he was.
Well, he's probably third now because the Greek Freak is right up there.
Oh God, yeah.
I would go Magic. He's my favorite player of all time. It's not even close. He's the GOAT.
Oh,
Sorry.
Big O. I don't know why I didn't say Big
Yeah.
O.
I'm going Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, really?
I think he was really underrated. I know he was a dickhead,
Yeah.
but he was really good.
I just see.
John
think
Stockton, I would put on there, and then I'd love to put Gary Payton on there.
Bye, Savannah.
Bye, Savannah. I can't do it. I'll go Big O.
Yeah, Big O is. I apologize to the Big O.
Yeah.
Milwaukee Buck.
So when we start our separate Candid Sports show, where we're not talking about athletic training, we're just talking about sports, that's the conversations we're gonna have.
You know what's tough is Steve Nash.
We're gonna do a Mount Rushmore every week on. Man, it's gonna be so much fun when we do other podcasts.
See, the thing with Steve Nash over Isaiah Thomas though is you get a shooter. You get a guy that can shoot.
Isaiah was good. We'll look
totally,
at the stats.
They're just totally different eras.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The 80s and the early 90s.
Steve Nash didn't shoot enough. That was actually one of. I heard an interview with him, and he said he
got
wished
one
he
of the
was
best 3-point shots
late in his
of all time.
career.
Yeah.
How about Jason Kidd? He's not even.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah. See, I think Jason Kidd.
He couldn't score.
I'm just not a.
I know.
He tarnished it with coaching.
In Milwaukee.
And now Steve Nash is coaching that team, coaching the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah. Okay.
I also met Steve Nash, and he was a hell of a human being.
He's
and
Canadian.
As an athletic trainer,
of course he is.
This is what I'll say. So, as an athletic trainer, that guy made you work a lot.
Steve Nash?
Yes.
Oh, good.
He got 2 to 3 hours of work before the game, and like another hour to hour and a half of work after the game.
That's how you get to be an MVP.
Well, and that's what a lot of guys, I was seeing other people around me being like, oh God, that's just annoying. And blah, blah, blah. But he was at the height of his career. He was doing everything he could to take care of his body. And I think you got to appreciate that. One
of the things I remember when I was interning with the Bucks was they used to tease each other. They used to tease, this was how important you were to the team, was how many fingers were working on you at one time. If you had one person working on you, you had 10 fingers. If you were more valuable, you had 2 people working on you pregame. That's 20 fingers. And very, very rarely you would have 30 fingers working on you at one time.
If
you were a 30-finger guy, you were that. That was legendary status, and we only had a couple of them.
Yeah, when you were an intern,
is that how baseball players? Do you have? It's a good. Or we get sidetracked all the time.
Hall of Famers.
The
Hall of Famers that I worked
with you.
Yeah.
When you were working pro ball.
Yep.
How often did
we have a scale?
You and Dave, or you and Dan, or you and anybody, or just were multiple people working on one athlete, or was it always one-on-one? Did you have times where 2 people were working on one athlete?
The only times we ever had 2
Call that a gangbang.
Yeah, only time we gangbanged was honestly it was to be funny. It was to make a joke.
Okay. Well,
100% it was to make
it legit happened when I was working with the Bucks.
Yeah. No.
Almost every game, game, every home game, your superstar or 2, your top, at the time it was Michael Redd, Andrew Bogut.
Yeah.
And then Mo Williams was kind of creeping into that status. It's 2 or 3 people working on them at one time, and it was no, come on, guys.
No, we honestly, if we did, it was a joke.
We finished 29 and 53.
Yeah, yeah. We had our high maintenance guys, but if somebody's a high maintenance guy, we didn't take 2 guys to make the treatment shorter. That guy was stuck for 45 minutes to an hour.
I'll do it now when I have an athletic training student.
Oh, sure.
And somebody says, "Hey, can I get my calves rubbed out?" I'll take one. I'll have the student take the other. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Because it's just half the amount of time. It free me up.
It's a tough world you live in because you don't have a massage therapist or anything.
Correct.
In the pro. And so if there would have been, okay, no offense, Andrew Bogut, if you needed your calves rubbed out, right? There's a massage therapist there.
Yeah.
Don't ask one of the athletic trainers to double team you.
Yep.
Okay.
No, that's what it was happening.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But that's a little uncalled for. And I think there needs to be reality checks. What it sounds like is you didn't have a veteran presence that was the guy that's saying, dude, don't do that. Like, I know you're the number one pick of all time, or like of that draft and things like that, and you're making the most money on this team. Don't do that. Like, that's wrong.
No, I think that's the culture of the NBA.
Maybe. I don't know. I never saw Kobe get 3 guys fucking gangbanging him. And that guy's one of the best players of all time.
We shouldn't say gangbang.
Oh,
FCC is coming for us.
Whatever. It's YouTube, buddy.
You're right.
We check the box. Not suitable for kids.
Yep.
Although, did you see what Hannah said? She's listened to us on 2x speed. Just freaking going to town. What do you think we sound like right now?
On YouTube, you can speed it up?
I don't know.
How the hell does that happen?
Talk really fast once.
How was that?
Mm-hmm. I got what you said.
Okay, we got to move on here.
Yeah, whatever.
We'd pick one. We did friend or foe. That's the only
Top
thing we've
5.
got done. Top 5. All right, here we go.
I think, why does the live take so much longer? Is it because we
just get off track
interacting
more.
with these weirdos on this?
Okay, top 5, Kevin.
Yeah.
We asked 100 athletic trainers.
What?
I forgot what we asked them. We got to read it. How many conversations do you have with your athletic director in a year?
All right.
And I think people answered traditional, like normal. A few people said this year is special, but
yeah. They didn't answer based on COVID. They answered based on what their normal job is. Okay, yeah. So number 1, 0. 2, 1. 3, 40. 4, every single day, which 365. And then number 5, I think, is my only true answer, and that is 10.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yep.
In 5th place,
Okay.
with 5 responses, 100 meetings with your athletic director.
$100 million.
So that's basically one every 3 days.
Yeah.
Now, this is interesting because we have high school athletic trainers, we have college athletic trainers, we have some professional athletic trainers, and we have some athletic trainers that listen to us who are in a non-traditional setting. So we're going to have answers all over the board, I think. But 5 people said 100 athletic or 100 conversations.
Well, good, because that means your AD is doing their job.
Mm-hmm.
They're checking in. Yeah, I think that's good.
In 4th place, with 6 responses, 20 conversations.
That's what I would assume is the average.
Okay. In 3rd place, 7 people said too many meetings to count.
Yeah. I almost wrote that down. That's why I wrote down every day.
And some of them actually said that here's an interesting scenario. When your athletic director is also a coach, which is often the case in high school.
Very often.
And you're covering. So is that we're talking about athletes? So that's a legit answer. When your coach is also your AD.
Yeah, because chances are you're talking to them almost every day, if not 3 times a day.
I will say one person said, trying to avoid them because they're trying to fire me.
They're trying to fire you?
Yeah, apparently. That's not funny.
What did you do?
I don't know.
Why
not
are they
me.
trying?
I didn't say it.
Why are they trying to fire you?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
In 2nd place, 11 people said 0.
Atta babe. Those are the
0
people trying not to get fired.
Well, some were GAs saying, I'm a GA at a Division I school. They're never going to talk to me, which I think is bullshit.
That's absolutely bullshit.
One person, I started. One of these people that said 0, one of these 11 said, I've never met the athletic director.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, they should be involved in the hiring process.
This is what I say.
This is the major problem.
Yes.
This is a major red flag.
Yes.
When it comes to value in athletic training, which we talked about last episode.
Yes.
Advocating for our profession. When your athletic director doesn't even talk to you, Holy cow! And we'll get to that.
And I don't
once.
care if you're like an assistant or you're a GA. They should know your name.
I've been at my school a long time.
Yes.
And we went through
a lot of.
I'll say this:
directors.
my first year there, the athletic director had been there 30 some years,
Yes.
40 years, something.
Mm-hmm.
After that person left, we had 6 athletic directors in 6 years.
Correct.
And then we've had the same athletic director over the last 7 years.
All right.
I've talked to my athletic director once this year.
Okay.
And probably once or twice last year.
Okay.
I think that's a major problem.
I like it.
We'll get into that in just 1 second. I want to give you the number one answer before we...
Please do.
The number one response, you mentioned it. 15 people said 365.
Oh.
I talk to them once a day.
Oh, all right. Well, that's pretty good.
Pretty popular number. Once a day you talk to them, check in. That's probably good. I mean, you know what? Is it a productive conversation or is it just a bullshit check-in to check in?
I think check-ins are fine though. Like I don't know if a check-in is necessarily bullshit. If the check-in is like, are you doing your work? That's bullshit. Yeah. Like you hired me for a job, expect me, I'm going to do it.
So Nate,
mm-hmm.
Nate put on here, if it's an assistant athletic trainer at a Power 5 school, I doubt the AD is checking in. Yeah. Here's the problem. The AD is probably checking with the director of sports med, just the head athletic trainer, and that's the problem. That's the problem with when you talk about leadership, when you talk about business.
Yeah.
Okay. If you are only checking in with your mid-management, your mid-level management, and you're not checking in with the people below mid-level management, you are not a leader. You are not doing your job. Because the people at the very, very bottom of the pyramid should be the most important people. They're the ones that really know what the hell is going on.
And I don't think it needs to be a 30-minute conversation about anything. I mean, I think there's one, if your AD doesn't know your name, that's a problem. Like that AD has a problem. I think there's this sense of just check in, say hi, hey, like, is there anything we need to talk about? And then a great AD would be the person that like just brings up a good conversation that they know you could respond to.
Yep.
Right. So maybe your AD says, hey, like, how was the trip to whatever? Like, is there anything that we could have done better? How's the bus driver going? How's the bus driver doing? How's this? How's that? Like, I mean, I think there's conversations that the AD should ask the athletic trainer, even though I'm sure that AD has many conversations with the head athletic trainer, but there should be just this little check-in. And you know what? It's tough. You're not on campus all the time. Like, you do go somewhere else for practice. You go somewhere else for games. But then, I mean, you need to be a better AD. You need to work a little harder.
100% agree.
There's a reason you're getting paid the big bucks.
If you are an athletic trainer in a college setting, and even more so at a high school setting, you are not the CEO of Amazon. You do not have tens of thousands of employees. You've got a couple hundred athletes and probably 100 or so people in the department.
And you know what?
You can't get to a couple hundred people in a year.
Yeah.
No, I'm not buying it.
And you can't go talk to 100 people in a day. Like, make it a point to check in with every single person in the entire organization every day.
No, it doesn't have to be every day.
It doesn't have to be.
We've had 11 people that said 0. We've had other people that said 1 and 2 and Christmas time. So
and it's joking, but it was real.
No, that's a real legit. I'm the longest tenured athletic trainer at the school I work at, and I've talked to my AD once.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine with me because, frankly, I'm done with administration when they're incompetent.
I love it.
And
hot take, doing it.
we have some really good administrators at our school, and we have some that I don't care for.
Well, don't you think that like that's part of
part of the problem?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's part of the part of the problem of athletic trainers not being in the light that we should be in stems from that we don't get even the respect
Here we go.
internally from our schools.
There's rants all night.
Absolutely.
So one of my biggest gripes is when they say, "Oh, we really value what you do,"
Well, yeah,
because
sure you do.
saying that is not the same thing as me feeling valued. I've said that before.
Correct.
I don't feel like they care, because why are we constantly turning people over?
Yep.
You know, like if you
And
really
it's not
cared,
just money.
and it's not just athletic training, it's our strength conditioning stat. It's all over.
Yep.
When you have a lot of turnover, that is a red flag.
I hope so.
So I think going back to the leadership point, one of my favorite things that I've ever read was, like, the best interview questions or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite one is, do you know the janitor's first name?
Sure.
That's the kind of person I want to work with.
Yeah.
I want to work with the person who talks to the janitor, knows everything about them.
Mm-hmm.
And as athletic trainers, more often than not, I feel like we do. Like I used to talk to the janitor all the time.
Yeah.
They're like your best friend. In fact, friend or foe, your relationship with the janitor is
no foe there.
Yeah.
Unless they're not doing their goddamn job.
So going back here, Bree said she's at a high school. Her AD comes to her office, checks in 4 times a week. Good for you, Bree.
Pretty solid.
Scott says his AD very rarely checks in on me. I have to seek him out if I need something, which makes me sound like a pest. That is the one.
Agreed.
That's a great point.
That's a totally great point.
So
you don't if you're an AD and you don't want your employees to seem like pests, seek them out, right? Go ask them if they need something. Go ask them how things are going. Go ask them if there's anything that you could do for them, instead of every time that they come in your office, it's like, oh God, well now what do you want?
So when you were in minor league ball, you had an interesting perspective, because you were required to check in every night, right?
Yeah.
With those people?
Yeah. I mean, in multiple facets.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a...
Is that too much? Is that too much checking in? Can it be too much?
No.
Like, leave me the f alone.
No. This is what I would say. I think I was in an interesting spot, because I was in a level of minor league ball that required... I mean, I had 40-man guys on my team, right? So at any moment, those guys could get called up to the big leagues. And I had a different email and text chain based on if it was a guy that was on the 40-man versus not a guy on the 40-man. That being said, that world's a business, right? Yeah. So you had to inform everybody of what was going on. My only gripe on that was, at times I would get a question back of thinking maybe that I was not competent in what I was relaying.
Sure.
Or how I was treating the situation. That was my only gripe, because my AD was either my coordinator, my medical director, or the GM of the entire organization.
Yeah.
And of those people, all of them have not only admitted that they don't know how to, like, they weren't up to par of the new way to treat people, like not putting ice on something.
Old school.
Or they knew nothing about medical. They only know how to, like, trade and like, you know, I'm going to move this guy here and move this guy here, and I'm a very good strategist. Strategery of baseball. So I think that was the only way that it bothered me. If you have an AD that's coming by and being like, well, have you tried this? Like, hey, shut up. Like, just let me do my job.
Right.
I'm not telling you how to do your job. But that communication chain needed to be there. Did I hate it? Yes. because it was another step I had to do other than just taking care of my guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I understood it too. And then, like, I mean, so bring up Dave, right? So, like, every once in a while, so Dave was in the big leagues and I was in the minor leagues. And if it was a guy that was on the 40 man, sometimes I would bounce things off of him or the head athletic trainer then and just say, hey, this is what's going on. Like, just to let you know. Like,
Okay.
so just so you're in the loop on everything. Cause I know how these people want to act like they need to know everything, but you're the one that really needs to know everything.
Yeah, because they're going to provide the continuity and care after.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Interesting.
And I would say, so as somebody that was in the professional ranks, your college ranks, we don't know what it's like to be in the high school ranks. I think ADs in the high school ranks are probably the most interactive with their athletic trainers.
Yeah, I would agree.
I would warn any high school athletic trainer that the higher you get in the ranks, there is a little more of a gap between that person values what you say or they even know your name. And one of my biggest gripes when I was my first couple years in professional baseball is that I guarantee you my general manager didn't know my name for at least 2 to 3 years. And to me, again, horrible.
Yep.
Like that, how horrible is that? You are clearly not a good leader.
Yep.
You are clearly not maybe you have this skill that can do this over here, but you are not a good leader for an entire organization. And I don't care if that's a school, a bigger school, or a professional organization. You need to take the extra step.
It's called big leaguing for a reason.
Yeah, totally.
You got big leagues.
Yeah, all the time, actually.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay. You want to do FET or FMK?
FMK.
All right. FMK this week. We got some wound care for you.
Wound care.
If you are listening at home, we want you to play along. If you're on the live stream, go ahead and type this in here. We're going to do wound care blood situation here, Kevin.
Blood.
We're going to have a bleeding scalp.
So much blood.
A bloody nose or bloody teeth, like gums,
okay.
mouth, like you got hit in the mouth and you're bleeding. Like a
teeth, scalp, nose.
Nose, blood.
Teeth, scalp, nose.
F1, Mary One, Kill One.
Did you have a bloody scalp this week?
I did.
Oh.
One of our strength coaches came in.
Oh.
With.
What happened? Drop a weight on his head?
Hit his head on something. I don't remember exactly what it was.
But his scalp was bleeding. Okay. All I can remember is a very funny bleeding scalp story.
Oh, can you share it?
Sure. I had a professional athlete that may have had too many alcoholic drinks.
Oh, no.
And our good friend of the show had to take care of him because he fell down and hit his head. And it was there. There's a longer story of getting staples in a head in his scalp. And
so it happened multiple times.
The doctor said, this might hurt a little bit. And the Novocaine or whatever lidocaine that they were using to numb the area was not totally numb yet. And
tough times.
Dave gives a very good impersonation of the athlete that was getting a staple in his head. Teeth, nose. Okay, nose is easy to me. I've had bloody noses my entire life, so it's like boom, I can take care of it really fast. Little like hack. So, okay, if you don't have the, little, I don't know, inch long little tube like nose stuffers, which I think actually suck, cut a gauze pad in half, like a 3x3 gauze pad in half, roll that up, shove it up there as far as you can, should do the job. If that's not working and you need you need something a little stronger, if you have Afrin or any kind of nasal decongestant.
Preparation H or Afrin on a nose plug.
No, Afrin, the Afrin acts as a constrictor to the blood vessels. And so it just actually actually closes all the blood vessels is my understanding.
Nice.
And that's why So you spray Afrin. I think I'm not a doctor. I don't know how to make medicine, but I think what happens is it's a vasoconstrictor. So therefore, any swelling that's going on in your nose, it like constricts it so that you can drain.
Okay.
I think that's how it works. Preparation H is actually the same. It's a vasoconstrictor. That's what it does down there when you throw it up there. So same. So good hack. Who said that?
Hannah.
Hannah? Oh, God. See, that's why Hannah's my favorite. The other thing is, so once that dries up, though, make sure, even like, don't shove something up there again, like too far. But you could put a little Neosporin or bacitracin or something to lubricate the area afterwards. Then you should be fine. Always lubricate the area. So I'm gonna marry nosebleeds. Yeah, I'm totally marrying nosebleeds. I'm gonna F mouth, gum, things like that, because you know what? Half of the time those things just take care of themselves. The mouth heals really fast. If you're bleeding in your mouth, okay, either a tooth got knocked out, your lip is bleeding. Like if it's bleeding, you can still play. Like, guess what? You just tuck that lip in there and you'll be fine. Again, that's what maybe
Tuck it
she
in there.
said. And so I got to kill the scalp. Yeah, I'm going to kill the scalp.
Okay.
Pressure on the head. Yep. Go for it. What do you got?
I'm gonna marry the scalp.
What?
Yeah, I think it takes the most amount of work.
So it just stops everything.
What?
Takes the most amount of work. Okay.
Well, sometimes if you get cut on the scalp in the right place, it just bleeds and bleeds and bleeds because it's just so thin.
That's why professional wrestling did it. That's why they would cut their
and it's just
brow because it bleeds
go.
like a crazy motherfucker.
The strength coach, it was like right in the part of his hair.
Oh.
Like right in the back, like
right
where the swirl is.
Yeah.
I was like, it took a while. He got to stop after a little bit. He like left, came back, and then once we got to stop, he just asked for some new skin.
Yeah.
So I just was dripping new skin in his hair. I was like, okay, fine.
All right.
So it was pretty easy once you get it to stop.
You didn't use any blood stop stuff? Just get his head to sting a bunch?
Yeah, no, that would have been tough.
Yeah.
I think I have to F the nosebleed. You just keep cramming stuff up in there as many times as you can.
Here I am being practical.
Yeah.
And all you're doing is being dirty about this stuff.
Yeah. Just keep cramming it in, cramming in your cram hole of the floor.
Cramming up your cram hole of the floor.
There's nothing like packing it tight and just letting it go.
Oof.
And then I'm gonna kill the mouth because
I gotta change the.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
hold on. All right, just pack it in there tight.
Going.
Thank you. No, I thought you were going the other one. I thought you were going.
Keep going.
I'm gonna kill the mouth because I really don't necessarily want to work with it.
I don't know if that was
trying
good.
some new things out. I really thought you were going with the crickets.
Oh, I was trying.
Yeah.
I thought that was decent.
Let's see what the people say here.
Yeah.
Bree Sage said, marry the nosebleed. It's common and comfortable. Marry and then kill the teeth. So she's marrying the scalp, kill the teeth. I hate mouth blood. Makes me want to throw up. I don't know. But then in the next one, she says, marry the scalp. So I don't know. She's marrying everything.
Come on now.
Bree's getting married multiple times.
Hey.
Probably lives in Utah.
Oh.
Rick said, F the scalp, marry the nose, kill the teeth. Dylan just showed up. Kevin's out of control on the board. Scott says, marry the nose, stick some shit up there. Easy. That's what I just said. F the mouth, Gatorade bottle, squirt water, and spit it out. That's just an easy hack. You're right. And then kill the scalp. It's an awkward area to treat. So please don't apologize, Dylan, for being late. So, all right. Enough with that.
Okay.
We're good. Let's go to our fictional athletic trainer, which we
Let's do
haven't
it.
done in like a month
Yeah.
or so.
God, we should be full of fictional athletic training right now.
I know. We're
What do you want to talk
locked up.
about?
So
Who do we want to talk about?
we
Who are
mentioned-
we debating?
We mentioned it last week. Why
did.
it was a shock that we haven't done this already. It's
Yeah.
118 episodes in. It's one of the most popular TV shows
Of
all time. It's probably it's for sure in, well,
Many people's Mount Rushmore.
Many people's Mount Rushmore
Mount Rushmore.
of TV shows.
Yeah.
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm talking about.
So I'm gonna.
I mean, how have you not done Seinfeld?
pretty
That's
good.
That's my best impersonation. That's all
Can
I
you
can do.
can you give yourself a little applause?
This is gonna take a while, but how about applause? Let's go the 4 main characters.
So we're talking Jerry, Elaine, Cosmo,
George.
or does anybody call him Cosmo? I mean, just
It's
Kramer.
Kramer.
And then George.
George.
Yeah. Costanza.
Costanza George.
Where do you want to start?
Anywhere. I think this is an interesting fact to me because I think they're all terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't.
Okay, you tell me who's gonna be good.
Jerry. He's calm under pressure.
Sure. That's all he's got.
That's all you need to be an
and then
athletic
everything's
trainer.
a joke. I mean, you're really coming in here with that?
Here's the thing.
You play basketball. You're going to roll your ankle.
I know. That's perfect.
And then he wouldn't do anything about
But
it.
here's the thing. Here's what he's really good at.
He would then break up with his athlete, or he would quit his job because he'd be like, I can't take that.
Okay, what are stand-up comedians better than anybody in the world at?
Telling jokes.
Okay, that's yes. Other than that,
Taking criticism.
yeah, a little bit. I was thinking
being in the limelight.
they're really good at being super perceptive and picking up on small details and
Yeah.
making a big deal of them.
Yep.
To me, that's rehab.
Okay.
That is like, hey, you know what? You got this one little movement flaw. We're going to really work on that. Let's make a big deal about this small little picadillo in your movement.
Okay.
That's
Well,
where I
I
think
see
Jerry's going to
where
be
you're
really
going.
good. He's calm under pressure. I don't know how his hand skills are. He gets along with everyone. People like him. To me, that makes a good athletic trainer. I think he's going to be a strong candidate, actually.
Okay.
Now, I will say the knowledge base, I don't know.
I just think every once in a while he would be. So he has his quirks, and one of his
we all
quirks
do.
could be, but one of his quirks could be the classic. Oh, I don't touch feet.
That's true. He
you
could.
know? And then it's done. Like no matter all of his good qualities, all of his good traits, everything that he make him a good athletic trainer, and all of a sudden somebody's clipping their toenails over the trash can, and he's like, I'm out of here. Like he's just gonna leave.
So
he's just gonna quit.
he could be bad, but we don't know that. He could be good. He could not have one of those.
He could, yeah. He's a 50-50 shot on whether or not he's going to just quit because of something, I think.
Sure.
But I agree with you. I really do like the rehab. Pick the little thing and make it bigger, right?
Stand-up comedians are geniuses.
Yeah. I actually agree. I think if we all listened to stand-up comedians a little bit more and how they look at life, we would all be a little bit better people. By the way, Seinfeld, the show, I actually think great show. Jerry Seinfeld's show that he did on Netflix, the
stand-up comedy.
No,
Seinfeld. Okay, yeah.
He did
just last year, right?
Well, he had like 3 seasons. It was like driving around with comedians getting coffee, or comedians getting coffee, driving, whatever it is. Awesome show. Like just a 100% you get to know people kind of show. Wonderful idea. Way to go, Jerry. Friend of the show. Okay. You convinced me a little bit higher. George. He's the only one that like
sports,
works in sports.
Yeah,
I don't know how much he knows about sports.
He's a panicker.
Oh, he's such a panicker.
Like breaks down. Like,
You know what else?
it's too self-conscious.
He's very self-conscious. Doesn't it seem like everything bad happens to him?
Yeah.
And like in his world, I mean, his fiance dies from licking envelopes. People walk in on him while he's naked after using the pool. I mean, everything, it just feels like nothing comes up George, you know, like
Tough breaks.
he would be the most unlucky athletic trainer of all time, I think.
Yeah.
And I think the opposite of Kramer, I think he would be the athletic trainer that like, yeah, I mean, nobody gets hurt.
Cosmo,
Yeah.
Kramer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think he's so,
Roll with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whether, I mean,
Which
you
is
know, he's high strung at times, but like,
yeah, that would freak me out.
yeah.
If that was my athletic trainer, he started.
I mean, like,
Could you slide into every room?
oh God,
Every like you
That
need
could
to
kinda
run
be
on.
fun.
You go on field for an eval, and that's what you have to do.
just slide into the room.
All right, I'm here.
Look like you were
Let
just
me grab your C
electrocuted.
spine.
Yes,
Slide right into the C spine.
we got this. Oh
I
my
think
God.
I don't.
But but doesn't it seem like all these good things happen to him when he hasn't worked for it, right?
Correct.
Like just these weird things, like he just finds lucky slots in his life. That I think being an athletic trainer, I mean, I'm sure in your world because you work with a lot of different athletic trainers, sometimes there is just those athletic trainers that seem to get this bad mix of
Bad juju.
holy cow, you always have 24 people injured and then big injuries or, you know.
I kind of feel like you make your own luck.
I mean, sometimes, absolutely, right? I think
A little bit, yeah.
I think some of it has to be with how prepared you are,
Mhm.
and some of it has to be with how much you prepare your athletes, right?
For sure.
Um,
You put the work up front, so like on the back end, it is easier.
I don't
Scott
know if
Scott said Kramer
Yeah.
would be a hilarious AT though.
he would be a hilarious AT. I mean, people would come in just to see him.
Yeah, that's
Right?
bad. That's a bad situation.
Although, I mean, I think some athletic trainers wouldn't like it because they would draw a crowd.
Mm-hmm. And Kramer would make it about Kramer.
He would.
Then again, Jerry probably would a little bit too.
He is
Actually, they all would. They all would make it.
They're all very selfish.
They all want to like.
It's the essence of
Yeah.
how the show ended. Actually,
Yeah.
they're all very selfish, and then that's why it ends the way it does. Basically,
Oh, really?
did you ever see
Like
the last
behind
episode?
behind the scenes?
No.
Oh.
No, meaning like the last episode. Did you ever see it?
I think so. I don't remember it, but
They're in like some small rinky-dink town, and somebody's getting carjacked, and because they're New Yorkers, they're like, oh, somebody's getting carjacked. Like, we see that, you know, like, the thing is, you don't go intervene.
yeah.
But in small town USA, it's, hey, what are you doing? Like,
yeah.
you like run over there and you try to save the day. Because none of them tried to save the day, they end up getting arrested for not helping, and then they get put on trial. And then all these people come in, like, and it's basically like a greatest hits of all the people
sure.
that were shown on the show and why these are really actually bad, selfish people. And then they get put in jail, and then the series ends.
Interesting.
Yeah. Sorry if I mean, spoiler alert.
Yeah, I'll have
sorry.
to go back. I probably saw
But,
it.
I mean, that was like 2002,
Yeah.
maybe 1999. I don't even know. Anywho, we got one more. Elaine. What do you think about Elaine? She's a bad dancer. I'll tell you that much. Bad dancer. I think she's not that being a stand-up comedian is not hard and you have to prepare. You really do. But Elaine always had like the grueling job. She always had she was somebody's assistant. She was always kind of like this, always doing the dirty work for her boss. Like,
yeah, that's a kind
she
of
had
a little
that
bit
quality.
Yeah, I just looked it up. The series finale,
Yeah, when
May
was it?
14th, 1998.
98. Oh my God, I was way off.
98.
Samsonite. Holy cow. I think Elaine has
She can do all the little small details. Now, I don't know if she'd be a good healthcare, but like
she just freaks out sometimes. She's
Yeah.
like she just calls it quits sometimes. Meaning like she hits an end and then she's just nah.
what
I don't know.
what you said about Jerry, how she might just run it. That's how I feel about Elaine. She might run into something she just dislikes and just say, "I'm done with it. I'm not going to do it."
Yeah.
That's kind of how I see her. She's not going to work through something uncomfortable for her. I don't. I mean, I
none
think
of them have hands-on skills. None of them. Jerry is cool under pressure most of the time, unless he needs a rye bread. Cosmo Kramer, I think he's cool, but he's just awkwardly cool. George is never cool.
personality wise, I'm going Jerry first, Cosmo Kramer second, Elaine third, George fourth. Like if I'm
And
an athlete,
Jerry's definitely the most organized.
yeah,
He was very neat,
Yeah.
tidy. I mean, it's got to be Jerry.
has to be.
Has to be Jerry.
That's who I'm going with.
And he likes coffee and cars. He's my kind of guy.
I'll put it up on social media.
Sure.
Man, I haven't done that in a long time. Holy
Really?
cow.
Ooh.
Well, mostly because we do these before, but
Yeah. And we'd been doing a bracket for a long time.
yeah. So you pick Jerry, I pick Jerry, but we'll see what the people say.
We're not talking about actors, Nate. Talking about fictional athletic training.
All right, that's it. Let's do our. That's it for
That's it. We're calling it quits.
Yep.
Just like Jerry.
Yep. Here we go.
On the way, Hannah. You can always count on Hannah for movie quotes.
You said it and then she repeated it. I don't.
Samsonite.
What's that from?
I was way off. Sammy, Simmy, Slimmy, Simmy, Samsonite. Dumb and Dumber.
Okay.
He's trying to remember
the
her
luggage
last name.
at the when you dropped off the. Yeah, you're right. I got it now. Took me a while. You know, I've only seen that movie one time all the way through.
That's fine.
I've seen probably the bits and pieces a dozen times, but I've never just went and watched the whole thing until just maybe a year or so ago.
That's surprising. I'm surprised you didn't watch it full through back in the day.
Yeah.
But I'm not surprised it's only been once or twice.
Yeah. Our friend Mike Getz loves that movie.
Really?
Quotes it all the time. He'll wherever he'll be like, "Oh, where are we traveling this week?" And somebody will say anywhere, and he'll say, "Gorgeous, Sunshine State."
Love it.
Yeah, Sunshine State, gorgeous.
What do we got?
John Denver's full of shit.
That John Denver. I said that the other day, and somebody was like, "What? Like, do you really hate John Denver?" And I'm like, "No,
never mind."
Like,
yeah.
Oh,
I said a movie quote last week, and everyone was too young for it, and I was like, "You guys." Oh, it was Austin Powers. Oof. It's like, you guys don't know Austin Powers? Oh my god!
And I quote that all the time.
Yeah. Feature topic tonight. Why don't you kind of connect all the apples here?
So connecting the apples and dots and oranges and things. We talked about it earlier. Dave, you're doing great. Love you. But it reminded us of this idea of working as an athletic training staff when one of your other athletic trainers is not available, right? So working short-staffed and what that's like, when somebody else has to maybe step up, do part of your role. I mean, honestly, one of the first things I thought of that night and then the next day after Dave had his incident was, I mean, this guy does an incredible amount. Like, it's nonstop of how much he does. And now the next day, somebody had to try to step into those shoes. And those are really tough shoes to step into.
Big shoes.
big shoes. Not really. He's got tiny feet. But, no offense, Dave. But the thing is, like, think about trying to just go into an athletic training room and take care of things that somebody has just been so automatic on for so long, and now you're trying to pick up the pieces. It's a weird thing, and I think when one of our athletic trainers is unavailable, whether it's somebody's out of town, somebody's sick,
Life happens.
Life happens.
It's a funeral. It's a wedding.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, so I'll give my couple short stories.
Yep.
I think when I was in pro ball, when I was in the major leagues, I actually got a couple opportunities before I was full time and traveling the country with the team to fill in for our other athletic trainers, and I had to go meet the team in another city, so all of a sudden I had to step into this role. My earliest like actual memory of this is my first year in professional baseball. All of a sudden, one of our athletic trainers had to go. He called me and he said, "Hey, something's going on with my family. I need to go. I need to be there. Can you meet the team in St. Louis?"
Oh,
of course I can.
I thought I couldn't remember if it was St. Louis or Atlanta. Those were the two states. I'm like, he went to Atlanta or St. I couldn't remember.
I legitimately, I packed a bag. I was on a plane like 3 hours later.
Yeah.
Like flying to St. Louis. I land in St. Louis. I get a cab. I just was like, Busch Stadium? Like, just take me to the field.
Yeah.
And I didn't know.
You had to walk around the.
I swear to God, like, I didn't know where to enter the stadium. I mean, honestly, the game was going on. Like, literally, it was maybe even the opening pitch was happening as I got dropped off. And so I get there. I called a couple people. The other athletic trainer was busy, like doing his job. And so I called a couple other people. They got me in. It was a fiasco. I get in, I go to my locker. I have my stuff and I change. And all of a sudden it's the third inning and I have to take care of a future Hall of Famer. We had a closer at the time that was a future Hall of Famer. His name was Trevor Hoffman. Hell's Bells. 600 saves, one of the greatest humans of all time, by the way. But within, I'm telling you, 20 minutes of me being there, all of a sudden I had to get through a routine with a Hall of Fame pitcher that has been doing the same routine he's only worked with two other athletic trainers in his life. And one of them was a guy that I had to replace all of a sudden today. And man, I mean, he did a great job of being very patient with me and he was trying to walk me through everything, but I was sweating bullets. I was, holy crap. Like, are these my hands? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. It was weird. Like, I was trying to mimic things that I knew, the guy that had to leave, like what he used to do. And it just wasn't the same. And it was just proof to me that the rapport that you develop, the nuance of actually working with your athlete when you work with them so much is so powerful in getting them through their day, getting them to be a better athlete, getting them to get through or prevent injuries is so amazing that it was a very eye-opening experience that I wanted that. I wanted that connection with my athlete. Mm-hmm. I wanted to be able to be in complete, like, simpatico, like synchronized with your athlete. And it was interesting because I felt like I was just this foreign being, like not of this world. And I was like, boom, like put in this position, and it was strange. Now, the other side of it, I was the other guy. I had to leave. I had to not be home, or I had to not be with my team. And the only thing I could think about was, this is right. I should not be with my team right now, but holy weird that I'm not there right now. And God, like, I really hope, okay, so what time is it? Oh, okay. It's 6 o'clock. So this person should be getting this. Like, should I check in? Should I like make sure that they're getting that? Like, no, like step away. Like you needed to step away. So you stepped away.
Was that when
Right.
you were with the professional club or with the minor league club?
Minor league club. Yeah.
How
Yeah. I
did you
never,
cover that situation? Because at that level, it was just you. So how
so
did
in
that
the,
happen?
so in the minor leagues, it happened to be over my All-Star break. I needed to stay home for an extra time. And um, I think my direct supervisor covered for a couple games, and then another game, the other athletic trainer from the other team just offered his services. And then my strength conditioning specialist that I was working with just tried to do what he could. You know, he wrapped hot packs on people. He made sure the cold tub and the hot tub were the right. I mean, like he did everything that he knew how to do aside from actually treating somebody.
Sure.
If somebody just needed like a little bit of a stretch, hey, like maybe me and you can walk through this. Sure. Like he could handle that. I mean, strength conditioning specialists are, it was always a weird thing to me in baseball that strength conditioning specialists didn't like do more upper body stretching. Like why is it so special? Like why is the upper body so special that the athletic trainer is the only one?
Right.
When they're very much capable of doing this. Not that I didn't love every moment of doing that with my athletes, but he helped out a ton. And Nate, you know, I can't thank you enough for, you know, stepping up at that time. But it was a hodgepodge. I mean, it was a couple things were just kind of thrown together. And it was
Scrambling.
yeah, luckily my coordinator at the time could cover for a little bit, and then the other athletic trainer was from the other team was very open to, hey, you know, if anybody needs something special, they need specific treatment, I will be over there. So, I mean, yeah.
I would like to hear how the high school athletic trainers, if you are out, how they get covered. Like I know Bree,
Yeah.
you work at high school. If you're still on the live stream, if you need to step away, who covers for you?
Right.
Dylan said something to the effect that short staff equals no staff for me. He's like,
Yeah.
he's in a one-off. It's an
Yep.
interesting situation. Ed said, and I want to put this up here, when he was on paternity leave, they hired 2 per diem people
Okay.
to cover for him. That's how valuable Ed was.
I love
Is
it. I love it.
takes 2 people to replace Mr. Ed.
Man.
Can I say Mr. Ed?
Well, he has 2 hands, right?
Yeah.
I mean, those 2 hands are better than most people's 4 hands, you know?
So,
Love it. What about you? What's the life like when Chad has to miss?
well, we're always short staffed where I work. I feel like every year we have at least one stretch of time where someone's gone.
Yeah.
And it's just, you do the best you can. I think when we are, I'm going to say quote unquote fully staffed where I work, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 full-time people and 2 part-time people.
Mm-hmm.
At Division I mid-major. So 5 full-time, 2 part-time people is full staffed. Often we're in the hiring process. We have turnover. So you just kind of scramble, and it becomes, and this is kind of where I wanted to go with this a little bit. In an ideal situation at the college setting, each team has their own athletic trainer. And sometimes people will split. Like we'll have 2 people covering track or 2 people covering a certain sport. Or maybe like at our school, tennis, one person will cover them in the fall and somebody else will cover them in the spring kind of situation.
Yeah.
But when you're short staffed and you just can't, the same person can't be there all the time. Like it's just should you cover sporting assignments or should you just have general athletic training room coverage?
Yeah.
So sometimes it's like a little hybrid of it. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, you know what? I'm going to be here in the morning. So if anybody shows up in the morning, I'm going to be here. What's the best model? What makes more sense?
Mm-hmm.
Should it be I mean, part of me says you should have the same athletic trainer with the same kids every day for continuity of care. But sometimes that's not physically possible.
I will say, like when I was in the minor leagues, right? So all of a sudden it was, say 5 athletic trainers for 5 teams.
Mm-hmm.
And the motto was just next guy up. If there's a table open, I don't care if it's a rookie ball kid and you're the AAA athletic trainer, like you stretch that person. You get that person on the table because we need to go. We need to go.
Yeah.
But it almost never worked like that. It would naturally just kind of
the guys gravitate towards who they're comfortable with.
And there was certain guys that well, I worked with that guy last year, so I'll go back to him. But it was interesting because I think we always tried to have the model of, hey, we're here. It's just you grab a table and you just come in and you lay down on the table, right?
Yeah, that's what happens more often than not where we're at. It's like, well, so-and-so is supposed to cover you, but right now it's a free-for-all, so I'll help.
It's interesting. I mean, I think, okay, so let's take Dylan, right? So he's the only person with his team.
With his hockey team.
Right? And so he is on this island, and I'm sure there's down to how a guy likes to be taped, to how a guy likes to be stretched, to what rehab exercises need to be done with so-and-so. What if you did have this system of, instead of you being here for 12 hours a day, every day, all the time, we do have 2 athletic trainers, and you're only here 8 hours a day each, and you overlap so that you can keep this continuity of care and then also share things with each other. I don't know. Maybe that model would be more successful for athletes. I have no idea. Hopefully, I don't know.
I don't know if it's better or worse for the athletes. And then also the other thing is it better for the athletic trainer? Do you have less burnout? Do you have less frustration?
Yeah.
Do you
know.
have a better work-life balance? Or is it worse because now you don't know what has been happening with one athlete for a few days, and then you have to try and catch up, or you have to hear it from the athlete? Maybe that's a friend or foe.
Dude, it's when I was not full-time with the Brewers, and they would go off for 6 days or 7 days, and they'd come back, and I'd be like, "Hi, what have you guys been doing?"
Correct.
And I would be so lost, and sometimes that's one day, right? That's all it takes.
So we have an athletic trainer that's been out on maternity leave for 8 weeks now, and covering one of our bigger sports. So the way we cover track is we have 2 people assigned to track, and then I cover the distance runners, the cross-country runners.
Sure.
I've said that before. I cover cross-country. Well, one of those 2 people is out. One of the 2 track people has been out on maternity leave.
Yeah.
So Kelly, who I've mentioned on the program before, is quote-unquote the only person assigned to track right now. But she was in her primary season with women's basketball. Yeah. So how can she be covering track, which is another fit? So it's kind of we help out as best we can.
Yeah.
But then it's you run into, all right, you want to be able to document everything. And I mean, it's just the consistency of care. And it's one day they're going to athletic trainer A, and then the next day they're coming to me and back to Kelly, whatever. And it's so hard. It can be so hard when you're short-staffed, which is why it's important to not be short-staffed.
But don't be short-staffed.
Yeah, it's when we first started this podcast, we wrote down a list of potential topics, and one of them I put on there, which we have still never really ever covered, and it's on our feature topic, is what's the ideal athletic trainer to athlete ratio? Or athlete to athletic trainer ratio. What's the best number?
Right. What's your number?
That's should it be one athletic trainer for every 10 athletes, 20 athletes, 25 athletes, 30, 40? What's the right number? You talk about teachers and class size. How is this any different?
Well,
what is the best ratio?
Because you're not trying to teach a subject.
How many times have you and I talked about or I've said this to you at least more than once. It's like when you were in pro ball, I was like, man, that must be nice to have 3 people working with a team of 30.
Yeah.
Where I'm, doing the same thing by myself and covering a second sport. I'm like, man, that would be awesome. There's times I'm like, that makes way more sense.
Oh, it totally makes more sense.
Yeah.
The only thing that happens though is then, and now take the money out of it, which is hard to do, but it is a business and it's money. But what happens is the athletes just require more because they can get more.
And that's
now I will. So I'll bring up a weird aspect of that though. Doesn't it feel pretty damn good when you've developed so much with your athletes and these little nuances of how to take care of them that nobody else can replace you?
Well, and
isn't there a little bit of selfishness?
Even enjoys, there is a little bit where it's like, man, I just worked with 70 athletes today. I feel pretty damn good, and I feel good about knowing what I can do. Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a secret sauce in if we could translate that into our athletic director, if we could translate that into our, our GMs, our coordinators, our, whatever, our manager at the hospital or whatever it is, in knowing how valuable you are to other people that they don't get to talk to all the time. I mean, that's the secret sauce of creating athletic training to this next level, right?
Well, and to take it kind of similarly, just think about sports. Think about how many athletes. So, like a basketball athletic trainer, your roster size is different than a baseball roster versus a track team versus a tennis team, a volleyball team. It's like when you are talking about staffs, like how do you divvy up coverage? Should it be by hours? Should it be by team? I mean, there's no right or wrong way to do it. It's just very interesting. Like there's so many different models of how you can cover things. It's really interesting and another way of just advocating for the profession, I guess. So what do we got on the comments here? And then we can, unless you have some other stuff to talk about, otherwise we can wrap this show up.
I think I hit everything. I mean, the idea of, I don't know. I think as a high school athletic trainer, my advice to you would be, one, have a backup plan, right? So what if something happens to you? What is the backup plan? And I think your direct supervisors need to understand what that backup plan would be. I would hope most of you have that, but if you don't, start talking to your supervisors about that. So if it is the athletic director or the athletic director and the hospital you work out of or the clinic you work out of, like what happens if you are unable to do your job? And therefore, I think that creates jobs. I think that creates awareness of how important somebody is to the institution, the school, the organization, whatever it is that you work for. Somebody needs to be able to step in there, and no, it's not going to be seamless, but somebody needs to be able to step in there and do a good job. And so they need to understand the sport. They need to understand the sports. They need to understand your athletic training room. They need to understand what you do on a daily basis. So there needs to be time where, and who knows, maybe that leads to a conversation of a high school athletic trainer advocating for there should be 2 athletic trainers here. I have 1,600 kids in this school, and 800 of them are actually athletes. I think we should have a second athletic trainer here because of X, Y, and Z. The other thing is, I think, to your point, talking all these years about, God, it must be nice to have 2 other guys that you can rely on for your one team. And yes, it was. But at the same time, these questions always they continue, right? Somebody has to step up. Somebody has to be able to do that. And the only way you can do that is if you have a staff that is capable. And so I think if there's a weak link in the chain, and that's the person that needs to step up, it's not going to work. So we all have to also keep each other accountable for making sure that we all understand what level we need to be at as an athletic trainer, because there is zero reason that the Milwaukee Brewers shouldn't call Chad Henneberry and be like, hey, you want to come down and help us out for a little bit because you're a very seasoned baseball athletic trainer. You can do this. You should be able to walk into that room and take care of somebody. And I know you could do that because I know your level of athletic training. But I think we need to keep each other accountable so that we can rely on each other as well.
Well, the funny thing about that is if there's a weak link, the athletes will figure it out. And then all of a sudden, they're going to just gravitate towards the people that, the stronger links.
Yeah, totally. And I think that's so that would happen with us in spring training. The stronger athletic trainers would even get some of these guys coming to them that they've never worked with because they trust you no matter what, because one of the other athletes said they should go to you, or they just see that you know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah.
Or they got on your table randomly and you're like, hey, you should probably work on this because I can tell you need to work on your subs gap, whatever it is. And you instantly build these bonds. And so I think there's also an opportunity if you're listening and you are an outreach athletic trainer and you work with a bunch of clubs or you work with this high school, but through your hospital or your clinic, you know a guy like Dylan that is covering a hockey team, and that's also under a contract that is through a clinic. And I don't know if you're under a contract through a clinic or a hospital or if you're just under the team. I have no idea. But take those times to try and reach out to those athletic trainers to say, hey, like, I'd love to learn from you. Maybe I could shadow you, blah, 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 blah. Because God forbid something happens to that person. You might be on that list of the short list of, I know this person could step in and help out. And maybe we can work something out. You know, I mean, that kind of stuff happens. It really does. And that's kind of stuff. So we got one topic suggestion recently from a member of the show, and one of it was, you know, they're a master's student, and what are some red flags about like applying to jobs, or what are some ins and outs of applying for jobs? One of them is connecting with other people, right? And offering to learn from somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you can, like, what if somebody gets seriously injured? What if there's something that tragic happens in their life and they need to step away? You could maybe then fill that void.
You want to be a generalist at the start of your career and then specialize later rather than vice versa. If you try specializing straight out of school and then you realize you want to do something else, you're out of luck. You're up Schitt's Creek. No paddle. Yep. So
I think it's a great motto to have. I love be a generalist, be a sponge, learn as much things as you possibly can when you're young. Try to be somebody so that later in your life you can start making these decisions of being specific about what you want to do, where you want to work, where you want to like specialize in. Oh, that's great.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Kevin, it's time.
Okay.
Why don't you? So don't forget, we're giving away 2 memberships.
What?
This week. Well, we're going to give away 2 memberships April 12th, courtesy of one of our members who wants to pay it forward, wants more people to enjoy this live stream.
We appreciate that person.
Kevin's going to give you a buzzword, you're going to email it to us or direct message us on social media. What do you got, Kevin? Drum roll. Is there a drum roll in there?
Well, I don't want to play 24 things at once, but the buzzword is nebula.
Nebula.
Who is Nebula?
So if you are listening to this and you want a free membership courtesy of one of our current members, we're going to give away 2. You're going to email us or DM us the word Nebula.
Nebula.
So, Kevin, give them the email address.
Candid Athletic Training @gmail.com.
And if you're on social media, you know where to find us, Candid _ATC. Mm-hmm. Send us a direct message on the Instagram or Twitter.
Yep.
And you will be entered to win
a membership.
A
live stream and membership.
So you can get the episodes early.
We're
going to give away 2. You can jump on a week early. You can hear these shenanigans a week early. You can get discounts on merchandise. I don't know if you listened to last week's episode, but what we're doing is we're building up. We're going to be getting a bunch of discounts and specials for members.
Yes,
so if
sir.
you are a member, very, very shortly, we're going to be offering coupons and specials and all sorts of goodies,
discounts
to our members.
all
So
these
you're going to
different
want to
things.
get yourself a membership.
Yes, please.
You're gonna pay for a $25 membership, and we're gonna give you literally hundreds of dollars of coupons.
Hundreds.
Multiple hundreds of dollars of coupons.
Yes.
It's going to be a good deal. And if you're already a member and you're on this live stream right now, know that you're going to be giving you for nothing because you're already a member. You're going to be getting hundreds of dollars of coupons soon.
Yep.
So you've made a good investment.
That you have.
So other than that, we hope everyone had a nice Easter. The weather is finally turning
Hippity
here.
Oh, God, it's so nice already.
I know.
It's amazing.
Man.
Amazing. Love it.
Yeah. I got nothing else.
Spring is here. Me neither.
We'll see y'all.
Bye.
Knowledge is king.